Hey, good morning, class. Look who's with me to help teach our lessons today. It's my friend Kennedy. She's got curly hair and she's got a big smile. So, she's gonna be back behind me today, making sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to do today, even her own self, which is really weird. She's making sure her own self does what she's supposed to do, and that is weird stuff. Alright, today is Wednesday, and it is May 13th. Not too much more left of school this year. It's going to be over before you know it. I'm working on stuff here, working on report cards, working on graduation stuff for some of the high schoolers that are graduating. Getting grades around, getting awards around, lots of things, cleaning up our classroom. I don't know, maybe I'll see you in the next few weeks if you stop by with your parents to pick up stuff or drop something off or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but things are starting to get better out there. At least they seem to be. Let's keep praying about it, that God will protect our country from sicknesses and, other things that are going on. Anyways, today's speed drill lesson is page 118, number 3. So you may go ahead and do speed drill 118, number 3. And when you're ready, come back and we'll do a math page together. Today's math, 308 tizzle. Skizzle, my nizzle at 308 tizzle. Oh my word, we got easy stuff today. Not only that, we got no science work today because for some weird reason, I forgot to put science work on our homework today. So, you got lucky, and it's a no science day for you. Unless you enjoy science, then you didn't get lucky, then you got unlucky. Anyways. Oh, hey, Ken. Like your curly hair today. Oh, thanks, Mr. T. You're looking pretty handsome today. Oh, thanks, Ken. That was really nice of you to say that. All right. Today we're doing dimes and pennies in our math book. Now, I told you before, when you have money, we usually have like a dollar, dot, cents. And the cents always has to have 2 digits on the cent side of money. We've learned it, we practiced it since the beginning of the year, so I hope you know that. And it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's like 1 cent, it's not .1, it's .01. Actually, $.01, but there has to be a 0 before the pennies. Now, we don't have a ones place and tens place, at least we don't call it that for money. We call it a pennies place and a dimes place. That doesn't mean that pennies and dimes are the only coins, it just means that those are the only coins we have place values for. So if we had a quarter, there's no quarters place, but we would have a 2 in the dimes place and a 5 in the pennies place, because a quarter is worth 25. 2 tens, 5 ones. That's just how it is. It'd be weird if there was a quarters place or a nickels place, because there's no 5s place or 25s place in regular numbers. Any hoogly woogly, on top of your paper you see it says $.73, and the 7 is the dimes place, and 3 is the pennies place. That doesn't mean that 73 cents can only be made from 7 dimes and 3 pennies. It could be made from 2 quarters, which makes 50, and then 2 dimes and 3 pennies, or lots of other ways too. It just means that when we think about it, when we write numbers, we have a dimes place and a pennies place, just like tens place and ones place. Piece of cake. It says 73 cents has 7 dimes, that equals 70 cents. 73 cents has 3 pennies, that equals 3 cents. 70 cents plus 3 cents equals 73 cents. And that's just how it works. And then over there on the other side it says 73 cents with a cent sign, ching, and it says the dimes and the pennies. So it doesn't have the $sign dot for that one, but it still has a dimes place and a pennies place. Got it? Get it? Good. Ooh, time for a M&M's break. M&M break. So good. I'm gonna need a drink. My M&M spilled. Just a second, my M&M spilled. Oh, they spilled again. You get back in there. I thought I had the zipper thing closed tightly. Turns out I didn't. I was just reaching for my drinky drink. Ken, you didn't see that. Yes, I did. Well, pretend you didn't. Okay. All right, back to math. Number 1. Circle the number of dimes in each of... Oh, my word. This is baby stuff. So easy. Circle the number of dimes in each amount. It even gives you a picture to show you how many. So we have 23 cents, $.23 in the first one. Already done for us. You can see in the picture there's 2 dimes and 3 pennies for 23 cents. 2 tens, 3 ones, 23. They circled the 2 in 23 cents because there's 2 dimes. We're not circling any money. We're not circling the coins. We're circling the numbers in the money. Next we have 17 cents, $.17. We're supposed to circle the number of dimes. Well, we can see in the picture that there's 1 dime and 7 pennies. So if it shows us 1 dime in the picture, we're going to circle 1 in the dimes place. And the last one, 31 cents. We have 3 dimes and 1 penny. We're going to circle the number of dimes, which is 3. Pretty easy stuff. Right, Kennedy? Right, Mr. T? Oh, she's really talkative today. All right. In the next part, part 2, we're going to circle the number of pennies in the money. Circle the number of pennies in each amount. 23 cents, and it's already done for us. We can see in the picture that there's 2 dimes and 3 pennies. The 3 is circled because there's 3 pennies. The next one says 17 cents. So we have 1 dime in the picture and 7 pennies. How many pennies do we have? Ding! 7. So we're going to circle 7 pennies. We don't even really need the picture to help us, but they gave us 1 anyways. For 31 cents, how many pennies are there? There's 1, because there's 1 in the pennies place, and there's 1 picture of pennies in the blah, blah, blah. All right, number 3. Write the sums and differences. Here we have money. We're doing an awful lot of money lately. The last few days and today, lots of money. I want money, 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 money. Make sure when you do your money adding and your money subtracting, the same stuff I always remind you of, and that is to drop down your dollar sign, whoosh, whoosh, ching, ching, dollar sign, and make sure your dot is lined up. And then you always make sure that you only have 2 digits in your cent side. We never have 3 digits, we never have 1 digit. We have 2 digits on the cent side, just like the pennies place and the dimes place. So, pause the video. Come back and we'll do the back side together. The front side was super duper easy. I hope the back side's easy too. Right, Ken? Yeah, Mr. T, I hope it's super easy. Thanks, Ken. You're such a good helper today. Alright, looks like we got some desert animals today. And we're going to decide how much they weigh. So we're going to do our best to estimate, think about, use our thinky thinks, how much these things weigh. Put your name on top if you didn't yet. Looks like we're at Arches National Park again. That little UT on there beside Arches National Park in the corner means it's in Utah. Utah is a state way on the other side of the country, a couple thousand miles away. It'd take a long time to drive there. Utah. Johnny Utah. All right, we have a kangaroo rat, the desert horned lizard, and the midget faded rattlesnake. These are some weird named creatures. Although the kangaroo rat we had yesterday. But desert horned lizard and midget faded, I think they're making up these weird names. Although maybe not, I don't know. Kangaroo rat weighs 1/4 of a pound. Not very heavy. Desert horned lizard weighs 1/2 a pound. Midget faded rattlesnake weighs 18 ounces. Now, we're going to have to do some thinky thinks to figure out which one weighs the most. Now, we could look at each animal and take a guess. I think I could guess which one weighs the most, but we also can use the information that we have. We just have to change it a little bit. Change it. Like Kennedy changed her hair from straight to curly. Right, Kennedy? Yeah, I sure did. Your voice sounds funny today. That's because you're doing the voice. It's not really mine. I know. Kennedy's not really talking. I'm just pretending. So we have 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound, and 18 ounces. Now remember, when we have a fraction, the bottom number tells us how many pieces we cut it into. So the kangaroo rat is like 1 pound, and you cut it into 4 pieces, and one of those pieces is how much the rat weighs. The desert horned lizard is 1/2 pound, which means if we have a pound, imagine it's a circle, we cut it in half, in half. 1/2 is how much that weighs. So which is bigger, 1/2 or 1/4? Well, if you think about the pictures, 1/2 is definitely more than 1/4. 1/2 pound weighs more than 1/4 of a pound. Also, how many ounces are in a pound? Now we're going to need to know ounces and pounds to figure out the snake part anyways. How many ounces are in a pound? Do you remember? Kennedy, do you remember? Yeah, it's 16! Well, you don't have to shout it, but yeah, she's right. It's 16. So, if we have 16 ounces in a pound, we can figure out how much each of these animals weigh. The first is the kangaroo rat, which is 1/4 of a pound. That means 1/4 of 16 ounces. Well, to find 1/4, you find half of a half. Remember half of a half? I hope you do, because we practiced it. So if we take 16 and do half of a half, start with 16 and chop it in half. What's half of 16? It's 8, because 8 plus 8 makes 16. Whatever double makes the number, that double is half of the number. So half of 16 is 8. So to do 1/4 though, we got to find half of a half. So half of 8 is 4, because 4 plus 4 makes 8. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 makes 16. And 4 is 1/4 of 16. Now that tells us how many ounces the kangaroo rat weighs 4 ounces. He's pretty light. The desert horned lizard is 1/2 a pound. So what's 1/2 of 16 ounces? We already figured that out. Half of 16 is 8. So we know the kangaroo rat is 4 ounces. We know the desert horned lizard is 8 ounces. Now, I don't have enough fingers for the ounces of the midget faded rattlesnake, but that's 18 ounces. That snake weighs more than a pound. So he has to be the heaviest. The other two are less than a pound. He is heavier than a pound. He's 18 ounces, and a pound is 16 ounces. So, congratulations, midget faded rattlesnake. You win. You are the heaviest. You can go, your prize is you can go eat the desert horned lizard and the kangaroo rat for dessert. Good luck with that. All right. Number 2. Mark the circle next to the smaller amount. Now, in each box, we're going to look for the one that's smaller. First, we have a cup and a gallon. Now, this should be pretty easy for us because we did cups and gallons, and we know that a cup is about this much. Gallons are like those milk jugs you buy in the store. That's a gallon. So, cup is going to be our smallest. 4 quarts, 4 cups. Now, starting to get a little tricky. 4 quarts is the same as 1 gallon. Each quart is the same as 2 pints, and each pint is the same as 2 cups. So if we have 4 quarts, each of those quarts is the same as 2 pints. So 4 quarts equals 8 pints, because we're doubling it on the way down. 8 pints, each of those pints is worth 2 cups. So if we multiply the 8 pints times 2 to get the cups, we get 16. So 16 cups is the same as 4 quarts. 4 cups is definitely smaller than 16 cups. Now we have 1 gallon and 4 cups. Here we go again. So we'll take the gallon and we'll change it into cups. Take 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So 1 becomes 4 quarts. If each of those quarts equals 2 pints, we have 4 times 2, that makes 8 pints. And if each of those pints makes 2 cups, 8 times 2 is 16. So 1 gallon equals 16 cups, and 16 cups is less than 4 cups. So 4 cups is definitely the smaller one. So in the top row, we have 1 cup is the smallest, 4 cups is the smallest, and 4 cups is the smallest. Cups are like, they're not the smallest thing we use to measure liquid, because we can use half cups and we can use teaspoons. For like cooking and things, we use smaller things to measure liquids. But for what we learned in school so far, cups is the smallest. All right, next we have 2 cups and 1 quart. So if we change the quart into cups, 1 quart is the same as 2 pints, and each of these pints is the same as 2 cups, so 2, 4. And a little bit confusing. It's easier when we're in school and I can show you things and draw pictures on the board, even show you some measuring containers. I don't know. It's a little more difficult. We're just doing the best we can because we're at home right now. Hopefully, if you remember what we learned, you're able to process this and understand this. I really hope so. 4 pints and 4 gallons. I'm not even gonna... 4 pints is definitely smaller. 4 gallons is a lot. 4 pints is not very much. And also 1 quart, 1 pint. Well, which is bigger, a quart or a pint? Well, 1 quart equals 2 pints, so 1 quart is bigger, 1 pint is smaller. All right, I gave you the answers for those, so even if you didn't understand them, which I hope you did though, yeah, I hope you understood at least a little bit of it. Write the temperatures. So look where the red line stops for each one. Remember, if the red line stops between the black lines, that's going to be an odd number. Count the big sections by tens. Just like in the first one, we have 60, 70, 80, 90. Count the small sections by twos. So you look at the first one, 60, 70, but it doesn't go up to 80, so it has to be in the 70s family. It stops on a black line, so it's a even number. So start at the 70 and count the small black lines by twos. 72, 74, 76, and 78. First one's going to be 78, but I'm not telling you the rest. The rest of the temperatures are up to you. Number 4, count the before and after numbers by twos, by threes, and by fours. Now, in the by twos row, actually in all the rows, it's not all one big number line. There's 2 sets of number lines. There's the one with 40 in the middle and one with 64 in the middle. They're not all part of the same number line. There's a break in the middle, so they're different. So all you have to do is write the before and after numbers counting by twos, counting by threes, and counting by fours. So when you do before and after numbers by twos, threes, and fours, you either add 2, take away 2. Add 3, take away 3. Add 4, or take away 4. We take away to find the number before, we add to get the number after. Cake. Alright, number 5, fill in the blanks. 136 has how many tens? Well, look in the tens place. 293 has how many hundreds? Look in the hundreds place. 1004 has how many ones? Look in the ones place. 23,890 has how many thousands? Look in the 1000s place. Alright, take your time. Go ahead and do this page on your own, because you can do it. And then come back with phonics page 309. Alright, page 309 it is. Working on ABC order again today, right Ken? Yeah, Mr. T, I like ABC order. Yeah, me too. When placing words in ABC order, look at the first letter in each word to decide the order. If more than one word begins with the same letter, look at the second letter. Sometimes if the words start with the same letter, we gotta look at letter number 2 and compare them. Sometimes we need to look at the third letter to find out which word comes first. Yeah, sometimes. If the first 2 letters are the same, we gotta look at the third letter. Alright, number 1. Place the waterfalls in Yellowstone in ABC order by numbering their names. We have Tower Falls, Gibbon Falls, Union Falls, Upper Falls, Virginia Cascades, Lower Falls. We're going to look at the beginning letter of each one. We have T, G, U, U, V, L. Now, it might help you to write the alphabet across the top of your paper. Or it might help you to sing the alphabet song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not gonna make something funny. So, let's get started. On the first row, we have T, G, and U in the first box. So which comes first in the ABC order, T, G, or U? Well, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G comes before T and U in ABC order. So Gibbon Falls gets a 1 beside it because it starts with a G. Now, if we think about the alphabet, which one comes first, T or U? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. They're right beside each other, but the T comes first. So put a 2 beside Tower Falls, put a 3 beside Union Falls, because that would be the third one in that group. Then I want you to do the same thing for Upper Falls, Virginia Cascades, and Lower Falls. Put 1 beside the one that would come first, 2 beside the one that would come second, 3 beside the one that would come third. You can pause the video, and when you're ready, we'll do number 2 together. Number 2. Look at the second letter of some of Yellowstone geysers' names to number them in ABC order. We have Cliff Geyser, Castle Geyser, Constant Geyser. Now you should notice they all start with C's. So in each of those words, we're going to need to look at the second letter. The second letter for Cliff Geyser is L. Second letter for Castle Geyser is A. A. Next one for Constant Geyser is O. So right away we can tell which one of those is going to be first. The one with A, because A always comes first in ABC order. So put a 1 beside Castle Geyser, and then you have to decide if L comes next in ABC order or O comes next in ABC order. And then put a 2 beside the one that comes second, a 3 beside the one that comes third. Then go ahead and look at the next row, Flood Geyser, Fountain Geyser, Fearless Geyser. Look at the second letter in each of those names of geysers and write them in order 1, 2, and 3 for ABC order. You have to go by the second letter because all the first letters are the same. Pause it and go ahead and figure that out and write those in. Write those numbers in. Number 3. Look at the third letter of some of the places in Yellowstone to number them in ABC order. Now, in this set, the first letter and the second letter are all going to be the same. So we got to look at the third letter to figure it out. Right, Ken?
That's right, Mr. T.
All right. Cathedral Peak, Cache Mountain, Castor Peak. Each word starts with a CA. So you'll look at the third letter. You can see they're darker color than the rest of them. The T in Cathedral Peak, C in Cache Mountain, S in Castor Peak. Now, we know that C comes before T or S. So the middle one, Cache Mountain, is going to be first in ABC order for that group. Q, R, S, T, U, V. Well, S and T are right beside each other, but S comes first. So Castor Peak would be second in that group. Cathedral Peak would be third in that group. Now we're going to do the same thing for the second row of that. We're going to look for the third letter because the first 2 letters are the same. Badger Creek, Basin Creek, Bacon Rind Creek. So, look at the third letter, D, S, and C, and number them 1, 2, and 3. Which one would come first? Which one would come second? Which one would come third? And where's my water drink? There it is. You want some, Ken? Pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, it's delicious. Thanks for sharing, Mr. T.
You're welcome. All right, dictation on the bottom. Today we're not doing sentences for dictation. We are not. We shall not do it. But we shall be writing words using our rules and special sounds to help us spell. In the first box, I'm going to say a word that's put together by 2 words. I want you to spell the first word in the first box and the second word in the second box. Let me show you what I mean. If I said the word cheeseburger, I want you to write cheese over here and burger over here. So that's why you have 2 spaces inside each box. Okay? In the first box, I want you to write paper clip, except for I want you to put paper in this space and clip in this space. Paper clip. Both those words go in the first box, but there's 2 spaces inside the box. Paper clip. That's those little things I put on your paper sometimes. Paper clip. In the next box, here's another compound word I want you to separate into, almost lost my book, into two words. Rubber band. Rubber band. So, rubber and band. Separate that into the two smaller words. Last box. Now this one isn't a compound word, it's just two words. But I want you to spell them carefully. Blue crayon. Blue crayon. Now, blue has two ways to spell it. There's blue like the color blue, like my shirt, and blue like the wind blew. I want you to spell the color word blue in the first line, and then crayon in the second one. Now, crayon's tough, but I will tell you this. It does have three special sounds: cur and crab, a and pray, and and shovel. Cur and crab, a and pray, and shovel. Crayon. That's how you spell crayon. Crayon's a little tricky, so be careful with that one. All right, take your time. When you're ready, flip your paper over, and we will do the back side together. Okay, we're on the back side here. Use proofreader marks to add commas and punctuation to each sentence. The only proofreader marker that we're going to use today is the little like triangle thing without the bottom to insert something that's missing. And it's going to be commas and punctuations. Now, commas are those little hooky things that are down low. We use those in numbers, in the thousands place numbers. We also use them in sentences when we have three things in a list to separate them. Like, for instance, I saw a blue, red, and green crayon. I would put a comma after blue and after red. I saw a blue, comma, red, comma, and green crayon. Got it? Good. Let's do a couple of these. Yellowstone National Park is in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. So, I see a list of 3 states in a row that should have commas. So put a little ching ching thing where the comma is missing after Wyoming. Wyoming, comma, Montana, comma. But then at the end of the sentence they're missing a punctuation. And let's figure out what kind of sentence it is. Yellowstone National Park is in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho. It's just telling us information, which means it has to be a period sentence. Did you know that it was the first national park in the United States? Now, I don't hear any words in a list there, but we do have to see what punctuation is missing at the end. Do you know that it was the first national park in the United States? That sounds like a question sentence, and you know what goes at the end of question sentences, don't you? Boy, I sure hope so. Visitors may see birds, reptiles, mammals, and fish. I hear I hear words in a list there, so put a comma between the words in a list. Visitors may see birds, reptiles, mammals, and fish. So put a little and then put the commas where they belong, and also make sure you put the right kind of punctuation with a little Last sentence, try a hike on one of the boardwalks. I don't see any place for commas in there, but there is a missing punctuation. Decide which kind of punctuation goes in there. Put the punctuation in there, and then the little sign to make sure it gets inserted. Alrighty, on to part 2. Circle the word that would come first in the dictionary in ABC order. ABC order again. We gotta look at these words and decide which one would come first and circle the word that would come first. Clouds, crayons, cars. Now, they all start with C, so we gotta look at the second letter. That's L, R, and A. So decide which one of those words would come first in ABC order by looking at the second letter. Next box. Mountains, marshmallows, moccasins. Once again, the first letters are all the same, so we gotta look at that second letter. So, it's an O, an A, or an O. That makes it easy. Circle the word that would come first in ABC order. Next we have valley, vacation, van. Now, this is a little trickier because guess what? The first letters and the second letters are all the same. VA, VA, VA. So we gotta look at the third letter. L, C, or N. And you have to decide, does L or C or N come first in ABC order? And then circle the one that would come before the other ones. Got it? Great. Number 3, draw hiking trails with your brown crayon. So you're going to need a brown. It's okay if you use a brown colored pencil, because it's usually a little bit neater to write in your books with a brown colored pencil. It's up to you though. Draw hiking trails with your brown crayon to match the words with the abbreviations. Circle the words that do not have abbreviations. So you're going to draw brown lines called hiking trails from words to match their abbreviation. Like for instance, the first word is Mr. When you find the abbreviation for Mr., which is capital MR period, draw a hiking trail from Mr. to MR period. Okay? You're going to do the same thing for the months and the days of the week that are abbreviated to the words that match them. There are 3 words in this group that do not have abbreviations. Okay? 3 words. They're all capitals, and they're all months of the year. That's the clues I'm giving you. So there are 3 that should be circled that will not have hiking trails. The rest of them get hiking trails. Last part. Alright, here we go. Use proofreader marks to show which words are not spelled correctly. You should find 4 spelling mistakes. So, we're not doing any this time. And we're not doing any of those squiggly lines that are so fun to do. We are doing SPs over top of the words that are spelled wrong. So, I cannot find my blue pen. I think it may have slipped through a hole in my pocket. If it fell in a puddle, it probably sinked. I guess I will have to use my red pen instead. There are 4 spelling mistakes in there. Write SP over words that are spelled wrong. Actually, one of those words isn't really spelled wrong, but it's used wrong. It should be a different word, but we use that as an SP anyways. Okie pokey. Go ahead and pause the video, take your time on that, and then we will do cursive together. Alright, according to my paper, it says page 63 for cursive. So I think you'll be taking out a new page, and yes you will. Aw, it's Mac and Otis playing together. Oh my word, I can't believe they got that in there. There they go. Although Mac has no legs and Otis is missing his back paws. Oh my word, someone should draw them on there. Someone. Alright, we got capital C's, capital D's. So capital C, small c, capital C, small c, capital C, small c. Trace the ones that are there and write new ones where you see the empty red dots. Same thing for capital D, small d. Yes, I will review those capital letters for you on the board in just a moment. Down below we have some sentences. Caden can play with his friend. Starts with a capital C at the beginning. Dean has a dark brown dog. Those are the sentences. That one starts with the D. So let's quickly go to the whiteboard. Review C's and D's, because those are our capital letters of the day. Hey, I wonder if they're going in order, because yesterday we did A's and B's. Today we're doing C's and D's. Isn't that special? Alright, let's get some lines up here. What did I say? C's and D's? I did. C's go around and back up. Now, be careful not to do this. Around and straight down and up. Not so good. It has to have a little bit of fatness to it, not skinniness. So, around and back, and then back up. Capital C. Piece of cake. Capital D's are a little trickier, though. Kind of like riding on a roller coaster. You gotta start way at the top for the roller coaster, and then you go down, whee, and you go in a loop, whee, back up again, another loop. I'll show you some more. Ride the roller coaster down, loop, around, back up. Last one. And then if you need to see it some more, you can rewind it and see it again. Down, around, touch the ground, back up, and finish it up with a loop. So capital D will not connect to the next letter because it stops way at the tippity top. Oh, there's Kennedy. Hey, Kennedy. All right, maybe some other time I'll put some other pictures up there and somebody else can help me. Why is that crooked? Oh, there we go. That touched me. Let's see here. Yes, capital C does connect to the next letter, like it shows in the tracing one. Capital D does not. Don't get rid of your paper because tomorrow we'll be doing the back side. It looks like they are going in order because we're doing capital E and F next day, and capital C and E the next day. So we're kind of going in order. And then G and H the next day. But we're not going to do the whole alphabet that way. Maybe we will. I don't know. We'll probably run out of time before the end of the year, but we'll see. All right. Go ahead and finish your cursive writing page, and then we will talk about all things even frisky. We finished chapter 5. We're now on chapter 6. Today's reading is going to be chapter 6. Now, in your books today, some ideas in this chapter are going to be honesty, because Billy and his friend Pete are going to do something they really shouldn't do. And Billy doesn't really understand at first how wrong it is. It has nothing to do with the deserted house, though. It's something else. It has to do with doing someone else's homework for them. You see, there's something that Pete doesn't like to do, and something that Billy doesn't like to do. So they decide to do each other's homework for each other, and then trade it, and then pretend that they did it themselves at school. Because doing someone else's homework would be dishonest, because it would be a lie to say that someone else's work is your own work. Obedience is also an idea in this chapter. When Jesus is in your life, he helps you to be obedient and to do what's right. Some words that you're going to see in this chapter that you might not know what they mean are these. Enviously means wanting something that belongs to someone else. Postponed means we were going to do it now, but now we're going to do it later. Okay? Maybe it got, the time got changed to a different time. That's what postponed. Pleasantly means kindly. Deserve means to be worthy of. Sheepishly means kind of embarrassed. Obedient means doing what is right. Furious means very angry. And miserable means very unhappy. Those are words that you will find in chapter 6. Now, what is chapter 6 about? Billy's friend Pete is always full of ideas. Not always good ones, but he has ideas. When Pete wants to make a deal with Billy, Billy has to make a choice between right and wrong. In chapter 6, let's find out if Billy makes the right choice. I hope you're enjoying the book. Find out if Billy makes the right choice in that one. I will see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll pick a different person from my class to help me out tomorrow. Kennedy, thanks so much for your help today.
You're welcome, Mr. T.
Next time I see you, you better have a bun then, though. Okay. See you, everybody. See you, Mac and Kennedy and JJ and Caitlin. Have a great day.